All right, so I'm going to get started. So welcome everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Can you shake your head? Okay, good. Okay, thank you. So great. So thank you so much for joining me today to help me towards my capstone for my instructional design course here at Del Tech. I am an educational technology consultant at the University of Delaware, and I work with faculty here to incorporate technologies. My focus is student engagement tools, so I was very excited to be able to have this particular topic to share with you. I'd like to know, first of all, if you have any previous background with the three things that I'm going to talk about today. And so by doing that, you can either turn on your microphone and just chime in. We don't have a big group, so if anybody, Lacey or
I use Google Form and actually I think that's it.
And how have you used Forms?
I use it in my level 2 English course, Composition and Research, where students have to fill out the form in order to get their topic approved. So that's where I kind of see their brainstorming session and they write about some possible topic ideas that they have.
Absolutely. And I think it's only fair that you get to see me too, even though the picture's better. All right, so that's a great way to do that topic brainstorming. Did you know that there is a topic eliminator or a choice eliminator in Google Forms? It's an add-in that you can add. So you could put the topics in there, and then when a student chooses a topic, it disappears from the list. So no students can get the same topic.
Interesting, I did not know.
Yeah. So I don't know, I know Molly, but I don't know the other two people, their first name.
Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Sandy.
Have you used any of these tools?
I have. So I've used the Google Forms for surveys, and then I've used Google Sheets for when they're picking a topic. Like they put a corporation. Is there a way that if like I don't have a list for them to select from, I just have them put the company. But if they were to duplicate somebody else's, is there a way to prevent that from happening if they type?
To my knowledge, from free entry, I don't believe so. But
yeah,
not at this point, because they would have to type it exactly for it to be like an exact match.
Okay.
That's why the choice eliminator takes a static list. So what you could do is you could have them, well, if they submit it all, then you would just have to contact the two that are, you know, competing, or choose the timestamp that comes in sooner and says, well, you picked it first, so the second person has to choose another company.
And then I've used Google Slides, you know, and I've had my students utilize all the different Googles in case they don't have like Microsoft Word. But my understanding, Molly, are we getting rid of Gmail at the college level so the students won't have that Google, or they will still? No? Okay.
I haven't heard about anything about that going away.
Okay. Somebody said that it was. I don't know. Hopefully not.
So I know that we've converted, Del Tech converted to Outlook for their mail. And so that often leads to the Office 365 suite. But here at Delaware, we use Microsoft Office and the Google products hand in hand.
Yeah, and that's our plan too. And Sandy, just so you know, you have several pages of people on. I know you can only see those two, but if you hit the down arrow, you have a few others. You have like 3 pages of people. So
exciting. Well, thank you so much. Okay. Well, did anyone else want to chime in as far as how they use these tools before I move forward, so I can think about how to map things in?
And Sandy, just while they're thinking, if they have a question, can you do me a favor? Can you please record this session for us?
I have started it in Zoom already.
Awesome. Thank you.
Absolutely. Okay. So I'm going to take this presentation now and go into presentation mode in this Google slide. And one of the things I want to show you is the Q&A feature. I know this is slightly out of order, but you'll see why. So if I go to Q&A, this is a built-in back channel type of chat that's built into every Google slide. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose Start Now, Okay, and there it is. Okay, so now I don't have dual monitors, so I'm just going to minimize this for right now by clicking here. So if you want, if you have another device or on your computer, you want to open up another tab and go to this URL, you're going to see a page that looks like this. At any point, you can put in a comment or a question. You can see what the other people are doing, and you can like their comments. Let me go back to that. So this URL is now on the top of every one of my slides just by enabling the audience Q&A. It's a really nice way for students to participate without interrupting. Sometimes you really need to get your full thought out before students, can chime in, or you take questions. And what happens is a student will then forget. You ever do that? If you can't ask your question right away, it kind of, well, maybe it doesn't really matter. Every question matters here, or every thought. So feel free to, use that back channel, and I'll come back and visit that in a bit. Okay. So the start, stop, continue midterm feedback. I'm going to use a Google form for that. And what is that? It's just a term, right? So let me show you. Here in my Google Drive, I've actually made a form. And I've heard that you've had some experience with forms. I can show you how to make this form. But basically, it's a point early in the semester before there's, you get to the end evaluations, and then you find out that students are really struggling. That just-in-time feedback is really viable and really helpful. So you could do this after 2 weeks of class, after 4 weeks of class, after 6 weeks of class, anywhere you want. And the way that these questions are phrased, it's to elicit feedback, okay? And it's also to share ownership. It's not what I should be doing differently or what you should be doing differently, but what could we do differently to make this a more valuable class for you. And it's amazing what good coaching provides, okay? And so you can then tack and make changes throughout the semester. If you've never used Google Forms, has anybody in the group, well, just turn on your mic. Has anybody not used a Google Form ever? I don't hear any yeses, so I'm not going to go through that. It's under the new, more, and Google Forms. Okay. There are many, many question types, and they're an incredibly useful tool. So the responses for Google Forms you've probably found come into a summary version here. Okay. And these are actually very short responses, but they help you guide the changes. You also want to tell students that it's not necessarily because they want it to be different that it will be different. Yes, no homework. Well, no, we know that you need homework so that you can improve. And then you also may want to coach them on, what examples of good feedback would be, okay? Because we're all improving. So you're modeling true life. And now my Zoom toolbar is in the way. There we go. Okay, let me see if anyone's come into the Q&A. No questions yet. I'm disappointed. Let me see if I reload it. Oh, you know what? That's because that's my view. Let me see. Here we go. Did I not start it? Yes. It's accepting questions. Has anyone responded yet? I'm going.
I've tried to put in the URL address and I'm not, is it case sensitive?
It is.
Oh, okay. That's why.
Yes, let me come back to, unfortunately, it is case sensitive.
Yeah, I'm on it, so I was able to get in, but I did do.
Okay.
That was my problem.
Just so I can show what it would look like. And I'm not seeing any yet. So let me do a sample here. Okay, and comments from the class up here, and I'll submit. Okay. Oh, okay. So there's Lacey's, and you're testing. Okay. So this is what I see. And let's say I want to actually present this comment to the rest of the class. My Zoom toolbar keeps getting in the way. Okay, so let's say I want to present that to the rest of the class. This is really helpful when you are not mirroring, but you're using that presenter view. Okay, so you would have this open on your desktop and students wouldn't actually see everything. And then I could present and we could discuss Lacey's comment. Okay, so at the natural pause in between, as you're switching topics, you can go through the list and you can see what's shuffled up and then just present what you want. And then I'll hide and I'm right back to presenting right where I left off.
And so you're showing this as if we were teaching in the classroom, correct? Not like here, Zoom.
Right. I mean, you can, in Zoom, if you were using Zoom, Zoom has a chat feature and you can use that. But I wanted to show the Google Slide Q&A that you can use either live or online. So the chat feature this way, it's only the instructor will see. The chat feature in Zoom, everyone could see. And I see that my feed is looking terrible. So if you don't mind, I'm going to just put my picture back because my lighting's terrible here. Okay. So about the start, stop, continue. I think we have everything. Modeling, preface the survey. Although their comments are valued, don't expect everything to be implemented. And anonymity can yield really candid responses, and they can be really painful sometimes. Students who are unhappy, maybe with your class, maybe with their experiences, you know, may say things that are really hurtful, and you just have to understand that that is a process. They're maturing too, and you just have to let that slide. And you probably find that as hard as I do. Okay. So how often should I refer to the Q&A is a common question. I wasn't sure if I'd have anybody here. I thought I might have to demonstrate to myself. And so the best thing is at that natural break when things are transitioning. Okay. You can also, another feature in Google Slides is the immediate captioning that's available now. It is not harvested or kept, but it is another tool if you're in a situation where you students need the assisted captioning. Okay. Some people find it very distracting, but it's rather accurate, and I think you can see that it self-corrects. So I'm going to turn it back off, but that is something for you to note that is available now in Google Slides. All right, so quiz shows. Who doesn't love a quiz show, right? Flippity is a great tool. Has anyone used Flippity before? No? Okay. So Flippity is an add-in. I like the shaking of heads. I can see that. That's good. Thank you. Flippity is an add-in in Google Sheets, and it's free, and there are lots of tools in it, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment. But basically, it takes the old-time PowerPoint. If you ever remember, we used to hyperlink and then still have to do the math and all that. It's all automated now, and it's all done through a Google spreadsheet. What's really wonderful about it is that students can write the questions. You can assign that as review work and then pick the best questions and answers. Or you can use it as an exam, a final exam review. So I'm going to just go to New, and I'm going to choose a Google Sheet. And the add-on name is Flippity. So I already have it, but if you didn't have it, you just go to Get Add-ons and look for Flippity, and then you could just add it. I'll show you the templates available. Flashcards are great. Students can color code flashcards, they can add images, and they can share decks. So it's kind of a really fun review tool. There's nothing quite that replaces the tactile, you know, moving those index cards around, but this is a nice alternative. The quiz show is the one I'll show you in a moment. You can make a little scavenger hunt also using a Google spreadsheet. Everything in these demos are great and all fed by Google spreadsheets. The random name picker is kind of a nice thing if you want to call on people and you don't want, or even if you're assigning groups. Sometimes that's a fun way to assign groups. You can put all the names in one sheet, and that's how your groups are done, and you can do it live during class. Okay. Oh, I didn't even know what this is a new one. You can just do some nice fun with words. Oops, golly, they're just flipping around. The spelling words are good. You can do badging. That's more for middle schoolers, but you can do crosswords and word searches and bingo and hangman. The progress indicator can be really nice for competitions in class if you wanted that one. Oh my goodness, and the matching game. Okay, and you can even do a certificate now. So now I'm back to the beginning, but the quiz is the one I really like. I'm going to go through the demo quickly and then we'll use it. So here's the demo. Okay, and I would like anyone who wants to play to just turn on their microphone and call out a category and a dollar amount. Go ahead, Lacey, you have your microphone unmuted.
Movies, 100.
Movies for 100. And anyone can chime in. You get first pick.
Are we answering like Jeopardy?
Yep. Only it's really just an answer. It's not in question form.
The Godfather?
Okay. Does anyone else want to chime in with a different answer? Okay. And it's Citizen Kane.
Darn.
So Team Lacey. Okay. You got it wrong. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. But we'll say that someone out there was thinking the right name. And we'll say that they got it right. You can use this however you want. Okay. So you see you're down 100, someone else is up 100. Okay. I'd like to do potpourri for 200. Anybody want to answer this one?
Orson Welles.
Oh, who was that?
Danielle Kidd.
Hi, Danielle.
Hi.
Okay. And that was close enough.
Oh, Orson Welles.
We'll give Lacey
That's what I meant.
too, because she was brave enough to answer last time. All right, so it does the math for you. It also shows you who got which color got the right answer. These will be outlined. Another one, let's see, that's not the one I wanted. I'm sorry, I'm trying to find a specific one. You can embed YouTube videos. Okay.
But why some say the moon? Why choose this as our goal?
I want you to understand that when you put in the YouTube video, the clip will continue playing unless you stop it. Okay, so if I were to let this play and then advance to mark the correct answer, we would hear JFK continue his speech. So be sure to stop it, and we'll give everyone points for that. Okay. I know we all like the bell. And then let's do the Simpsons for, I forget which one it is. Oh, anybody want to chime in? Okay. I didn't know that one either. This is the one I wanted. I wanted to show you that you can also do images. Okay, and anyone know who that is? No, we're getting past the age of Simpsons. These are their, we're giving Lacey points anyway, just because she was the first one. So this is Millhouse, okay? All right, so you get an idea of how it works. Now you want to see what it looks like, right? How does this come together? So we're done our sample. And I'm going to say I'm going to use their template. Okay. Alrighty, and we'll come back to that later. But you see you have your categories. Trying to scroll over a little bit. Okay, there is a final one that they put in now for Final Jeopardy. That's new. If you want to get to the very end, but you don't have to use it, but it's, you can see it's 6 categories. There's where the potpourri, the bees, and all that was, okay? And then here's the $100 question and $100 answer. Okay, so that's all it is. They fill in the question and the answer, and the question and the answer. Okay, I like to have students do one category, like groups of students do one category, like for homework, and then put it all together in one sheet, okay? What's really fun is after you've done this a couple times, you have multiple game boards. Or if you're teaching more than one section of the same class, what's really great is that team says, oh, we did that category. We did world capitals. We know every answer. But then they get section 11's game board instead of section 10. And they're like, wait, you know, so of course this is all going to be on your subject matter, but you could break this down into chapters or topics or however you want to do it. You can also explain to them, you know, what a 500-point question would be. You know, you need to model that a little bit, what that higher level, higher thinking question. And you can think through the whole Bloom's taxonomy about, you know, processing and writing those effective questions. The one thing I do want to point out is that you can, let's make this a little bigger for you. Okay. You can see that to add an image, there is a little bit of funky coding that is necessary, and it has to be a public image. Okay, so it has to be a public image that you can find on the web. It can't be just from your Google Drive. Even if you make it public, it has to be published somewhere. And also, if you use a YouTube video, it has these funny little brackets. Okay. So the only other thing to be aware of are the directions. When I first started, it said something about publishing. Let me just give it a name.
So when I find the public image, I can just copy and paste from the link?
Yes, and the only thing that you need are those double square brackets before and after the image. Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah, and if you start Flippity, it's there for you. So when I give students a sample, I make sure that the sample always has what the image tag looks like and what the YouTube tag looks like, what the video tag looks like. And that way they get it just right, because the syntax is really picky. Okay, but to make it so that people can play this board now, let me just change this to Lacey and Tina and Molly, just so you can see a difference. Okay, so you go to File and then you publish to the web. Okay, and that's all you have to do is publish to the web, and then come back to your add-ons and Flippity and get the URL. Okay, and it reminds you somewhere. If you don't have it published, it will remind you. So there we are. So you can see Molly, Lacey, and Tina, but we haven't changed any of the questions. Okay. It does not save the scores. So like once you reset the board, it just resets. Okay. Any questions about that? No? And I know that my Google slide link wasn't showing any longer. Let's see if anyone else came in. Nope. Okay. And that's the disadvantage from popping in and out of this. So you can see how this can be a really engaging in-class activity, but also driven by the students, where they are taking the information and determining what the important things are that they need to take away. And also they just love it. They get really excited about it. Okay. And so that's it. Did you have any questions for me or anything else I can share with you today? Turn on your microphone. I see everyone is muted right now, or you can come in through the back channel.
Oh, it looks good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I really, really appreciate your time. Is there anything that I could have done to make this of more value?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you very much and have a great afternoon.
And guys, real fast, Tech folks, before you hang up, since Sandy did this great thing with Google Forms, something else that I wanted to share with you that I'd be happy to do a short little, like 25 minutes on if we wanted to, is Google Forms is now also allowing you to branch, meaning that students, if they answer the question a certain way, you can then send them to a different question than if they answer one way. So it takes, yeah, it's almost like an adaptive learning. So it takes a lot of setup, but I think it's really cool. And I think some of you would really, after seeing your excitement with this, would really do well with it. So if that's something that interests you, shoot me an email and I can put something together that meets everybody's times who are interested, rather than just kind of shooting for a time. Let's get the people that are in this session and let's continue our learning with something else.
Okay. May I demonstrate that quickly with this?
Sure.
Would that be okay?
Yeah.
I love branching. It's wonderful. So the only thing about branching is that you have to have sections. So here's the section divider, and I'll just say this is the stop. Okay, so this would be if they answered stop, what other questions would I want to ask them? Okay, and if they answered start, what would I want to ask them? And another section, and continue. So you're just breaking this up. And let's say I wanted at the very beginning, I'm going to add a new question. So I'll just add a new quick question here. And I'll just put your favorite color. Because I'm not going to ask their name. I still want it to be, you know, anonymous. Okay. So, but I do want to ask that question. And I can ask, I'll ask one more question, and I'm going to change the question type. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I wanted to do this way. Okay, so there are all these different question types. So for branching, you need to have a decision-making type of question, okay? Check boxes, they can check as many as they want, okay? But when you see that circle, the radio button, multiple choice. Multiple choice, we think we can choose more than one, but in the Google Form world, multiple choice means one. Okay, so the question is, what action is most important to you? Okay, so they're going to say something that they want to stop, something they want to start, or something they want to continue. And I'll delete that. Okay, so now that I have this branching question and I have these different sections, I can choose where to go with it. Okay, and multiple choice. And I don't know, I clicked on that rather quickly. You know, these vertical dots means that there is more that you can do. So clicking on these dots, and now I can go to a section based on an answer to this question. So if they answered stop, I want them to go to the stop section. If they answered start, I want them to go to the start section. And if they go to the continue, I want them to go to the continue section. Now, at the bottom of this, right now, it says go to the next section. And that's okay, because this question is going to override it. But now if I had my start, let's see. So what could we start doing? And I want to move this one. Come on. I want to move start into the start section. Okay. And I want to move stop into the stop section. Okay. Okay. So this question is going to drive where they go to next. But if they were to say stop was the most important, after stop, they would still go to the start and the continue section. If I want them just to weigh in on the stops, the next section, I could choose to continue to the next section or just submit the form. And that's where you get your branch. So you can have them go down the lane however you want. So the start, I could go right to submit the form. And then they continue, because it is the last one, it would automatically go to submit. And that's how branching works. Okay. So, thank you very much again. And I guess that's it.